I'm scared to write about the things that I've been through because I don't really want anyone to know. I could fart in my hometown and everyone would know about it. You have plan A and you don't have plan B. And once you get plan B, I think plan A is out the window. This might show everyone a wee bit about me that I'm a wee bit scared to show. I am Nat Kelly and I am a singer-songwriter from the north of Ireland. I moved here about 9 years ago for university and the city's never got rid of me. I left school at 16 and went to do performing arts. In the 2 years, absolutely loved it. I actually thought musical theatre was going to be my thing. I think it came to my second year and my tutors pulled me into the office and was like, we've got your predicted grades here. What are you planning on doing with these? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to be like a singer and it's going to be like a star. And they're like, no, let's be real. What are you doing with these? Like, you could go to university. And university was never anything I ever thought about, ever thought I'd even get the grades. So they were like, come on, like we've actually never had a student that's went from university from this course. We'd love you to go. So not even a word of a lie, went home, Googled the best party cities in the UK. And the closest to the north of Ireland as well, and Liverpool was the one that came up, and I decided on it, picked it, and I got an unconditional offer, and the rest is history. 9 years later, I'm here. Since I was maybe 4 or 5, I remember sitting in the car with my dad, and I heard Avril Lavigne on the radio, and I'm pretty sure it was Complicated. But I always imagined her as like a real hearty black woman with a real soul voice, a lot older than what I expected her to be. And I felt like that person that I could hear was so far different than something that I could be, but I wanted to be it so bad. And then when I watched the music video for the first time and I seen that she was just a little teenager and she looked like me and she was little, she wasn't a tall girl, I was always the smallest of all my friends, and she was a little bit like tomboyish and she wasn't pretty in pink and she was just edgy and cool. And I literally remember being like jaw dropped on the floor watching her, being like, that's going to be me one day. I think for my 6th birthday, I remember asking for a guitar and my mum being like, what? Why? Like, no one in the family's musical. There was not even really any singers. Everyone would have got up and done karaoke after a bottle of wine or a couple of whiskies, but no one was a singer. And my auntie's husband, so my uncle, he could play the guitar. And when I got my guitar for my 6th birthday, on a piece of paper, he wrote down like 4 chords and where to put your fingers on the frets to play it. And from that piece of paper and that little guitar with plastic strings, I taught myself how to play. And I think by the age of maybe 9 or 10, I could sing and play at the same time. And I was like, okay, I've made it. By 16, I'm going to be famous. This is me. There's a massive difference in the person that you see when I'm on stage and the person that you see off stage. But for me, what I like about the music is like the joy that it brings to someone. You know, if you walk into a bar or a venue or a party and all there is silence and there's just nothing really going on, compared to when you walk into a place and there's a gorgeous song playing in the background that makes people smile, or even the fact that music it's so universal. Like, any memories that people have, like 80% of the time it's connected to a song, or a song brings them back to that memory. Imagine you wrote that song that was someone's first dance at their wedding, and for the rest of their lives they think back to your song and they feel happy memories. That is what I want to do with my music. I want to make people feel something, whether it's even I feel sad when I listen to that song because it's hit an emotion, or I feel pure joy, or I feel nostalgia. I just want people to feel something. A lot of people put pressure on themselves, like, I'm going to write a masterpiece and I'm going to write it today. But a lot of the time for me, a song comes from an experience, and it'll be like, say I've had a chaotic day or something amazing's happened, and maybe I'll say something, I'm like, oh, well, that was a bit of a wild one, that. I'll maybe try and take whatever little quotation and make a song around that. And then sometimes I could sit with my guitar and come up with a lovely melody and go, I wrote lyrics about 2 months ago and this could fit gorgeous over this. And then it becomes something. To sit down sometimes and put that pressure and go, I'm going to write a song, I'm going to write it today. Like, it doesn't always happen that way, but then again, there's times you don't even plan to write a song and you sit down and you do write a masterpiece in 20 minutes, and it varies. It's very hard to say, this is my method and this is how I do it, because it's different every single time. Writing music is about putting your emotions on paper and getting them out there. And I don't like things to be fake. I can hear it in a song. I can see it in a TikTok ad. I can spot it a mile away. I can see bad acting in a film. And I think the same comes from fake songwriting. So for me to write music, it's for me to tap into my feelings and my emotions, where sometimes that can be scary. And sometimes that can be a wee bit vulnerable for me. And then I think, right, well, if I write this song and it's really fucking good, I'm not going to want to keep it here in my home studio. I'm going to want to release this, but this might show everyone a wee bit about me that I'm a wee bit scared to show. It's so easy to get imposter syndrome when you've been doing something for so long, and at one time it was a challenge, and this time it may not be as challenging. You think, well, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe because it's not that hard anymore, maybe I'm not doing it right. So you think, oh God, I've gone downhill. And I think a lot of it is vulnerability and putting a side of yourself out there that normally people don't see. Like I said before, the version of me that you see on stage compared to the version of me that's at home is two very, very different people. And it's like showing that little person from home is scary, because the one that's on stage is full of confidence and she's big and bold and she can take anything, but the one that's at home is a bit sensitive. And like, if I put out a song that was really meaningful to me and someone was like, oh, that's shite, I'd cry. Do you know what I mean? But if it was a fake song and it was just lyrics thrown together and they went, that's shite, I'd probably go, I can see your point, yeah. You know, when you're a creative and you feel that the only thing that you can be in life is creative, you have plan A and you don't have plan B. And once you get plan B, I think plan A is out the window. So you need to have that drive. You need to even sacrifice a lot of things and say, right, okay, I'm doing this part-time job and it's giving me X amount of money, but it's taken X amount of time away from my creativity. I'm going to need to quit that job, be on my ass for a wee while, get my music together, get my art together, and push myself forward and be that creative that I was always supposed to be. So sometimes you need a wee bit of destruction, like throw that job off, take a risk, quit your job, hand your notice in, go and light a fire under your own arse and get the gigs because you need it, because you quit your job, you know. Sometimes you need that to push yourself forward. Opening up and being vulnerable and being like, okay, well, this is how I feel on the inside and this is some of my past experiences. There's a part of it that, you know, I would never want someone to listen to my music and go, oh, fuck, that wee girl's had a hard life, feel dead sorry for her. Oh, I'll give her a like just because I feel sorry. No, like, I want you to relate to my music. I want you to like my music for what it is. I want you to like me for who I am, and not because you feel sorry for me or because of past experiences. So I think a lot of the time I'm scared to write about the things that I've been through because I don't really want anyone to know. There is a fear of like putting yourself out there and then it not being received as well. You know, that's a bit scary. Or else there's also that fear of, you know, when you write music and it's too literal, or else then when you go, oh, I'll spice it up a wee bit, and then people go, what the fuck are you saying in this song? This makes no sense. You know, there's 5,000 people in my hometown and I have that amount of followers on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's such a small community. I could fart in my hometown and everyone would know about it. And this is the thing about small town syndrome, like everyone knows everything about everybody. And if there's a part of me that still cares about that, that's still going, oh, what are those girls or boys from school going to say when they hear that song? And I really should be like, fuck oh, I don't care, like I really don't, but I do. I'd probably have to be on the Ireland scene a wee bit more, as much as like that's where I was born and bred, and I still do gig over there. When I first started gigging, it was very much here in Liverpool. So as much as I do go back and forth, and I do have quite a few friends who are on that scene, it seems amazing, to be honest. That's something that nearly draws me back to Ireland, because the music scene there is lovely. There's a few of the guys there, you know, these boys would be gigging maybe 3 times a day in different counties, driving all around, and they'd hear I'd be coming back for a gig, and they'd come the whole way up to just be like, hi, you're home. It's good to see you. It's good to catch one of your gigs. And that's something that I really miss over here in Ireland. There's a lot of support from the Irish back home for everyone to really, really succeed. Whereas over here in this city, it's a little bit more cutthroat, and everyone wants to see you be successful until a certain limit, and then it becomes a wee bit threatening to them. So that's one thing I've noticed, not to like talk shit about the Liverpool music scene. I think there's just a more homely vibe and a more family vibe to the Irish one. But over here, the opportunities that can come from the gigs is incredible. You know, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and repeat again. I could be playing from 2 p.m. till 2 a.m. on a Monday any week. And the same goes for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, whereas back in Ireland, it's more of a weekend thing. So you'd nearly have to have a part-time job or a full-time job and have this on the side if you lived in Ireland, whereas over here in Liverpool, it can be your full-time job, and you can do that every single day. As much as it's tiring, there's much more opportunity on this side of the water. With the gigs over here, no one wants to hear your originals. Everyone's in a bar and they want to hear what's on the charts, or the classic pub songs, you know, that gets everybody up and going. So writing your own music gets put in the back burner because you're constantly learning new covers for people to come in and enjoy the gigs and come in and dance. But it is definitely in the pipeline that I'm working on and trying to make more time for writing and for my art. I'm very, very excited for this new chapter. I think anything in the past 8 years that I've done has been solely performing music. So for this opportunity to come along, where I get to not only watch amazing music, but I get to be involved and I get to present it, and I get to meet so many amazing artists, and even like Karan and speaking to these people that have lived such a different walk of life than me, but we all have the same goal. It's really special. And then to meet all you guys as well, and you know, it's become a proper family vibe, and I think with the future of it, I'm really excited to see where it goes.